Hi everyone, this is Brian Hayes and welcome to a discussion on how to play the high notes on the alto saxophone. By high notes I mean all of the notes up to high F above high C. We're going to learn the notes by using the F chromatic scale across 2 octaves. This will introduce us to the right hand side keys and the left hand palm keys, as well as the octave key. I'll be posting some further tutorials on exploring the altissimo register for the alto saxophone. Altissimo is just a word that means very high notes. Now on the alto sax, that generally begins from F sharp above high C and upwards. Not all saxophones come equipped with a high F sharp key. On my saxophone, the key I'm referring to is this one here, the long key down here that our right hand third finger operates. If you have a look up the high end of the saxophone, up near where the neck joins, you'll notice that when I depress the high F sharp key, the pad that covers the highest hole drilled into the body of the sax opens and closes. That's why high F sharp is the highest note possible on the normal playing range of a saxophone equipped with a high F sharp key. Let's start by having a look at all of the individual fingerings required to play a 2-octave F chromatic scale. Chromatic simply means that every note is one semitone away from the next note, either higher or lower, depending on whether we're going up or down the scale. Today we're going to start by ascending, going up an F chromatic scale. So my left hand fingers cover the B key, the A key and the G key. Low F is produced by putting the first finger on my right hand in combination with the 3 fingers on my left hand as I'm showing you there. So that's low F. F sharp, we swap the first and second fingers on the right hand. The second finger now is depressed and the left hand stays the same. G is just no fingers on the right hand, and that's our normal G fingering on the sax there. G sharp is the top of the available 4 keys that the left hand little finger can operate. And you can see as I'm pressing that key down there, one of the pads actually opens to produce G sharp. A is just first and second finger on the left hand. A sharp is A plus the bottom of the 3 right hand side keys, the lowest one. And you'll notice when I'm depressing that key, I'm just using the side of my index finger. I'm not pointing my index finger at the key. We never do that. We just leave our thumb under the right hand thumb hook, and with the side of our index finger, we depress the bottom of the 3 right hand side keys. That changes A to A sharp. We then play B, which is just the first finger on the left hand. C, we're going to play the side C chromatic fingering. So this time we hold B down here and we move our index finger on the right hand up to the middle of the 3 right hand keys. This one here. So B plus the middle right hand side key produces C. We then lift everything off for C sharp, and from here on up we need to engage the octave key. So we just push our thumb onto the octave key, and D, which is the 3 fingers on both hands, right hand and left hand, plus the octave key, is the first note that requires the octave key on the sax. From that note up, every note needs the octave key on. So the next note higher than D is D sharp, and you'll see down here I'm depressing my right hand little finger on the top of the 2 available keys for the little finger to operate. Okay, so that's D sharp. E, I just lift up those fingers and I've got the 2 on the right hand, my 3 fingers on the left hand remain the same throughout, and we're back to where we started but 1 octave higher. F with the octave key on is the same as low F. Okay, now as we go up the next octave in the F chromatic scale, all of the fingerings remain the same as the low octave with, of course, the octave key on throughout until we get up to high D. So F, F sharp, G, G sharp A, side A sharp, B, side C, and C sharp. Now C sharp this time will have the octave key on but no other fingers. Okay, from there on up we need to engage the left hand palm keys. Now there's 3 palm keys. They're called the palm keys because we actually engage them by using the inside part of our hand, our palm. We never try and press these keys down in any way with our fingers. It's only ever the side of our fingers or our actual palm, depending on the size of your hand. Okay, the first of the left hand palm keys, the one closest to you when you're playing the saxophone, this one here, is how we play high D. So you notice what I'm doing here? I've got my octave key on, okay, my thumb is on the octave key, but I'm depressing the first of the palm keys, and I'm actually just hitting it, in my case, with the palm of my hand. That's high D. Now high D sharp, we leave high D on and we bend our index finger around to engage the second of the left hand palm keys. Again, this is the second key of the 3 closest to you when you're playing the saxophone. So high D, bring your index finger around to engage the high D sharp key with your octave key on, and that's how you play D sharp over high C. Now to play E, which is the next note up in the chromatic scale, we leave the high D sharp fingering on, so we've got our octave key on, our D and D sharp palm keys engaged, depressed, and down here now we use the highest of the 3 right hand side keys, and this one up here that has the curve in it so that it'll catch your finger is actually high E. That's the note. This key here is the note that produces high E. So to play high E you must have D and D sharp depressed, then that becomes high E. Now our final note to complete the 2 octave F chromatic scale is high F. And what we do is we simply close our left hand fingers, and you'll find that 1 or 2 of your fingers will catch this final octave key, the one furthest away from you, and that produces high F. So high E plus the F palm key gives us F 2 octaves above where we started from. Okay, so let's play those notes now. I'll play right through the 2 octave F chromatic scale, and I'm going to be using all of those fingers I just showed you. Let's have a listen to what that sounds like. I'll take you through all of those notes individually now on the saxophone, and you can play along with me if you want to check that you're getting the right pitch for all of these chromatic notes. So we start down low on low F and no octave key, and we'll do them 3 notes at a time. So we're going to play F, F sharp and G. You can see I've got my G fingering depressed throughout, so low F sharp and low G, and that'll sound like this. The next 3 notes will be G sharp, and remember that's that little finger on your left hand playing the highest of the available left hand little finger keys. G sharp A, side A sharp, the bottom of the right hand side keys in combination with A gives us A sharp. So we've got G sharp, A and A sharp. Okay, the next 3 notes will be B, normal B, but for C we're going to play the side C or chromatic C fingering, the middle of the 3 right hand side keys. B plus the middle of those side keys gives us C. Then we lift all fingers off and we play C sharp. Again, no octave key. So we're going to play B, C, C sharp. Now from here on up, we need our octave key depressed. So our left hand thumb now, as well as resting on the thumb rest, pushes forward bends forward. As you can see, I'm doing wiggles forward and engages with the octave key. So we've now got D, D sharp and E with the octave key on for those three notes. Now we're at the halfway mark because the next note higher than E with the octave key on is F. And it's one octave higher than we started. So we started on low F. We're up to this F now, which on the saxophone is middle F. The saxophone in its normal playing range has three Fs, low, middle and high. So now starting from middle F, that's F with the octave key on, all of the fingerings right up to high C sharp are identical to what we've just covered. The only difference is you leave your octave key on throughout. So the notes from F up to high C sharp will sound like this. Now from this point on, we have to use our left hand palm keys. So the first palm key, the one closest to you, plus the octave key is high D. Leave high D on, wrap your finger around the front of the saxophone, and the next palm key is D sharp, but it needs D, high D on to become D sharp. So D plus the D sharp key gives us high D sharp. Then we come down here and we twist our hand up. We leave our thumb under the right hand thumb hook, but we twist our wrist around, keep our finger straight out, and it will catch this top right hand key, which is the high E key. Then we hold that, so high E we hold, then we close the rest of our fingers around, and that engages the high F key. So this will be D, D sharp, E and F. Okay, let's listen to that. Now those are the hardest notes by far in the chromatic scale because we're not used to having to, use the inside of our hand and wrapping our fingers around to play the notes on the saxophone. All of the other notes, with the exception of the side right-hand keys, are played by just lifting our fingers up and down on the fingerboard of the saxophone. So you're going to have to put in some additional time to master the highest palm key notes of the saxophone. And remember, you also have to be able to play this exercise descending. So far we've been gradually climbing the music ladder, getting higher and higher, a semitone at a time right up to top F. Particularly with the palm keys, I recommend you spend as much time as required to be able to play from high D to high F, ascending and descending, like this. Once you get the hang of those extreme high notes, the left-hand palm key notes, I recommend you try and take the chromatic scale down from your highest note F, down the full 2 octaves down to low F. It's so important because music doesn't constantly keep getting higher. It bounces around all over the place, and what goes up must come down. So let's listen to the chromatic scale played in descending order through the 2 octaves, starting on the high F. Okay, I was tonguing all of those notes. You should practice your scales, both slurred and tongued. Take it as slow as you need it to initially. It's not a race. You're looking to develop really good finger coordination. I hope you've enjoyed discovering some of the high notes on the alto saxophone. As always, keep in touch via my website. That's www.brianhayes.biz, B-I-Z. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Drop me an email if you have any fundamental questions about playing the sax. Most of all, enjoy the never-ending journey of discovery of the amazing sounds you can play on a saxophone. Bye for now.